Okay, everybody, this is Andre. Before the discussion actually takes off, I wanted to say that the person and I, who I'm discussing in this discussion, pointless, who I'm discussing in this video, we've kind of squashed everything, and this was recorded right after the first interaction. Which is already posted over on Anchor, which is why I'm not skipping putting it on YouTube. So I wanted to make sure to let everybody know we squashed this little issue between us. It's become more cordial. But I do think that the premise of the discussion itself is still something that needed to be put out, which is why it's still being released. That's it. So I don't want anybody thinking that I got like some major beef with this dude. It was more or less just a conflict of thoughts and ideas. So we're just going to drop it from there. Again, that's all I wanted everybody to know. So it's not like I'm out here hating on the dude after we squashed everything, because I'm just not like that. Just making sure that's clear. Otherwise, enjoy the discussion. Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear listening into another Gamers Thoughts discussion. And this time I'm going to be talking about the subject I already covered, but simply because people don't like to pay attention to what you say. They like to trail off onto other subjects or move the point away from where you're at, or move the goalposts, as a lot of people love to say. So, I've had a bunch of videos about Metroid as of late. My video my discussion about not wanting people to pirate Metroid Dread led to a comment from someone coming off basically saying that, yeah, all the Nintendo stuff should be pirated because they're a shitty company. They're anti-consumer. They're giving us stuff that isn't worth the value. Mind you, I don't have any problem with their opinions. I do have a problem with how they addressed the situation. Because I'm the type of person, you give me a certain level of energy, I'm giving that energy back to you. I'm not keeping your energy on me. So you come at me negatively, I'm going to come at you the same way. It's just how I am. So, and he said that's basically justification for pirating all the stuff Nintendo puts out. So for me, I went ahead and said, well, basically I guess that means that we should pirate stuff from Sega, pirate stuff from Rockstar, pirate stuff from Microsoft, pirate Sony stuff. I mean, because when you think about it, all of the companies in some way, shape, or form have an issue that is worth justifying not giving them money. You could literally apply that to any company for any reason across the board. All of them have done something that's either been, one, bad for the community, the fan communities, or two, that just seems like it's arbitrary and too expensive. Or even three, they've done stuff like, pile up microtransactions in a paid game. Or give us multiple releases of the same game, many of them without content. Sometimes even content that, gives you the true ending of the game. So I point this out. Dude comes back. And I hope he hears this. I really hope he hears this. Like, maybe he comes back to my channel. Because he wants to have an intellectual, battle. But he comes back. No. We're not talking about anybody outside of Nintendo. Where my point was, and still is, if you're pirating, you can justify it with any reason. You can literally justify your piracy for any reason as to why you would pirate stuff from any given company. You don't have to purchase their games. You really, truly don't. Oh, and I think I slipped in there the argument about... No, I know I did. I slipped in the argument that if Nintendo stuff is trash, why do you want it? But getting back to the point. He's just like, no, we can't talk about this stuff outside of Nintendo. It's just got to be Nintendo. The whole point of my video was that I don't like piracy, and I don't want to see the companies put all that work into something and it not actually receive the credit that it's supposed to garner for all the hard work that they put into it. See, I don't have a problem with people not purchasing something that they really don't like. I don't care. But if you say you're a fan of a series, or you believe in a series or something like that, and you want to see more of it, then you have to support it. It's simple as that. And if you don't support it and you decide to pirate, then you cannot complain and cry about the non-existence of the continuation of it. But then he went on to talk about the stuff with canceling tournaments and charging too much for different servers. Like, and then assumed that I'm paying into the Nintendo Switch ecosystem, and called people that complain about Nintendo but then buy into their stuff a cult. So I guess I dodged that bullet then, because I'm not paying into their ecosystem, and I don't talk about how bad something is and then decide I'm going to go buy it in the first place. I really truly don't do that. So couple of misfires there, buddy. Couple of misfires. But then I was just like, you know what? I made the points to show you how stupid it was. It's arbitrary. Like, what? There's got to be some cognitive dissonance there. Like, I get him being upset with a bunch of stuff. And then he said, okay, I was a fan of Virtual Console. But like, yeah, I was too. I was definitely a fan of having the option to just purchase the stuff that you wanted wholesale. He even said that, you know, the stuff that was on there was definitely worth the money it was charged for. I have no disagreement with that. I have no argument against that. But the majority of people that even had a Wii U complained that they wanted the Virtual Console to be a service. And then they ended up with it being a service, and now they complain about that service. And I get the complaints about the service, that there's not enough stuff on it for everybody's appetite. Cool, I understand that. But you're also getting what you asked for. And you're getting it the way you asked for it. So you should not be complaining about it. Now, maybe he's the special exception to the rule. He wasn't complaining about the lack thereof of the stuff. Never was my problem. But it's just like he just snowballed into a bunch of assumptions based on my response to him. And then I was like, and again, you give me that energy, I'm coming back at you with it. I'm not a fan of it. And this is why I don't debate. Because I know, especially when I know I'm right on something, and I get agitated, I'm going to get mad disrespectful. And I'm surprised I didn't get worse than I did in my reply back to him. But it just baffles me that you can just you can snowball into a shit ton of assumptions. I literally don't even think I made any assumptions about the dude. If I go back over it, I don't think I made one assumption about him. I just talked about the stuff, the way things would play out if everybody kept this mentality. Well, I don't like you for this reason. I feel strongly enough about it. I'm going to start pirating your stuff. I don't condone piracy. I mean, there are some special circumstances to everything, but in general, I just don't condone piracy. And I don't think anyone should. That was my most of the point of what I said with the whole Metroid Dread thing. That, and because fans of the series want more of the series. And if you want more of a series of video games, then someone has to pay for it. Yeah, the company pays for it up front. And the employees will get paid to see the game done. But if that game doesn't make sales and there's no return on investment, guess what? The game stops being made. Unless that series was supposed to conclude, you don't want that. And it irritates me when people run off on a bunch of assumptions because they don't agree with a point you made, instead of sticking to the points you made. Now, I don't mind there being things that branch off from those points, like, oh, well, these companies did something similar, and I disagree with that too. I don't care about that. That's because that's still staying in line with the subject. But to firstly say, well, no, you can't talk about all of them doing bad and it going against my whole point, because then it makes my point look ridiculous to say. And now I'm just going to hammer in on this thing and make some assumptions. And the bad thing is, I largely agree with a good deal of what he said. I just don't agree with the context. Like, yeah, I agree that Nintendo's online might be a little bit too much. But that's what they did. I also said that I think that there should be a version of the expansion pack that doesn't include any game DLC. Give people the option to have it without it for about $10 cheaper. Not that dude would know this, because he's just focused on that. And yeah, I did enjoy having Virtual Console be a thing, and I do think that Nintendo should open up letting people purchase the older games directly if they don't want to pay into Nintendo Switch Online, or they don't want to purchase the expansion pack. They should be able to do that. Again, these are things I have said. Not that this guy would know. But the assumption comes from him going off of the one video, not having the full context of everything I talk about. I can't blame him for that part. But it's better to just not make the assumption in case, something else comes out that kind of makes you look dumb as fuck. And then there's the whole thing about the tournaments. I'm sorry. First of all, Smash community, those people knew ahead of time that tournaments were going to get shut down. One, they were making a profit off of it. Two, they already had a bad history with the shit that happened with the minors and adults at Smash tournaments, and adults and minors being in the same rooms, in the same central location. There's a lot of shit that the Smash community has to fucking clean up before anyone can complain about Nintendo shutting that shit down. Like, I'm behind them on that. Because, again, it's reflective poorly of me if I allow this shit to keep going on and parents get involved, knowing that Nintendo serves a general audience of families with their content. I'm sorry. Nowhere in the world would I let that continue. It's just bad business. It's a stupid ass idea. And secondly, well, I already think I made 2 points. But if you already knew, like you were already warned ahead of time that this was going to be taken down, and on top of that, you didn't even contact the company ahead to see if it would be okay to run the tournament, because you're using their IP in order to make money. You didn't get your licensing and shit straight. So that's another knock against you. So again, I'm behind them on this. Because I wouldn't want somebody taking my stuff and just doing what they want with it, and then somehow I don't even know what's going on with it. And it gets back to, well, guess what these people were doing with what you made? What do you have to say about this? You're responsible. Even if they aren't, people will treat them like they are. So, again, context. Contextually, what I was saying fit right along with the argument. Sega took down freaking Streets of Rage remake. They also took down all the stuff for Shining Force when they were releasing that game. Rockstar literally went on to threaten lawsuits for the stuff that was being done to bring GTA to the Switch. They literally, Rockstar Take-Two, they literally threatened lawsuits for that. So yeah, Nintendo does it. I don't always agree. But if you're going to be pissed off at Nintendo for doing it, then you got to look across the board at everybody. I'm sorry, I'm going to be pissed off at EA and Activision for having a crap ton of microtransactions in their games. They don't need them. I'm going to also be pissed off at Blizzard for treating their female employees like shit. I'm also going to be pissed off at Ubisoft for treating their female employees like shit. And also for the way that they have run certain games into the ground. And again, run along with DLC and microtransactions. I'm going to be pissed at all of them. Across the board. And I'm not going to support the shit that I think is fucking disgusting or stupid. Human logic here. But I'm not going to call a company trash when I know that they make a bunch of stuff that I like. I'm just going to point out the stupid shit that I think that they do. I don't get where that's difficult to fucking understand. I mean, is it hard to understand? Am I being illogical here? Because I think about it, I'm like, his logic doesn't pan out. Because if I can justify why I'm going to pirate Nintendo shit, then I can justify why I would pirate from Sega. Then I can justify why I would pirate from Ubisoft. I can justify why I would pirate from EA, Activision, Blizzard, Take-Two, Konami. Fuck. Thing is, you could justify it no matter how many ways you try to run through it. I could justify pirating games from 2K, pirating games from SNK. I could justify at that point, I could literally justify pirating from indies, and I could find a reason. Doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Doesn't mean it's something that I should do. If I don't like something, I don't support it. I don't pay into it. Simple as that. But I don't go pirating the shit and justifying it. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. I don't agree with that. It's broken logic. Well, the company's trash, but I want this shit anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and steal it. Why put yourself in that position in the first place? Because if they do start really cracking down on this shit, a lot of people will be finding themselves getting fined insurmountable amounts that they can't pay. I'm not saying anybody's going to jail, but I'm pretty sure people are going to be broke after all this if it comes to a head. Secondly, hey, why not help try to get litigation worked on to make the situation better, or try to propose some stuff? You do know you can do that, right? People do know that they can do that, right? Or am I the only one that knows you can do that? Maybe get a group of people together that agree with you, that are reasonable. And I say that strongly needs to be reasonable people that could follow a movement and get things going. Like, kind of like Project Rainfall, or I don't even remember the name of what we called it when everybody was trying to get Project Cross Zone moved over to Western countries. How about getting people together for that type of stuff? Rather than shitting on a company over, granted, Nintendo has done some stupid shit. But why shit on the whole company and then steal from them and put yourself in a bad position versus, hey, we can get these fans together and we can show them by doing this what we're looking for. Or, you know what, just do what everybody else does and let the money talk, because that's how you get them to do anything. That's legitimately, like, I don't think people understand this. This is legitimately how all this shit works. Again, there are a shit ton of people who come on to YouTube and any other platform and complain about Nintendo, but then they still purchase their shit. There's a bunch of people that get on the internet and everything, complain about EA and Activision and Blizzard, and they still purchase their shit. So, I mean, I don't purchase the shit that I don't support. I still, to this day, do not have Dead Rising 4 or 3. And I'm not going to get either one of them. Nope. Not going to get either one of them because I'm standing on what I said about Capcom years ago. I'm not purchasing those games. I'm not going to pirate them, but I'm not purchasing them either. I don't want to add any sort of condoning to what they did. That Dead Rising 4 situation really ticked me off because I'm a fan of the series. I've always enjoyed Dead Rising, but I'm not paying into it. I'm just not. It's not going to happen. And that's because of the executive decisions that Capcom made. And I'm sticking by my word on that. The only way I would end up with those games is if somebody bought them for me. Not because I couldn't have gotten them, because they've been discounted to hell multiple times. I just don't want to. Under no circumstances am I doing it. So, again, I'm sticking to my points. And maybe this guy does too. But I'm sorry, I can't follow that pirated because I don't like them bullshit. Nope. Because to my knowledge, at least Nintendo treats their employees very well. And their employees stay with them for a long ass fucking time. And even the people that have left the company, I haven't heard them go on to talk about how poorly they've been treated. Now, maybe that will crop up in the future, but I have yet to hear of it. So again, as far as, you know, maybe some of their policies you don't like, cool, fine, whatever. Don't like the policies. Don't support the policies. But don't go on to start pirating. I'm not with it. Simple as that. So, with me rambling for as long as I have, yeah, I'm just not with it. I don't think that that's a good argument. Because honestly, if I were going to choose which company I'm going to pirate from, which companies I'm going to pirate from, based on things that they have done, I'm not going to go after the guys that are protecting their IP or that may be charging a little bit more than I think that they should charge for a game or a service. I'm not going to be that person. But say there's a company that's treating their employees poorly on purpose, sexually harassing people in their offices, using their power dynamic over them. Guess who the fuck it's not gonna be? And guess who the fuck it is gonna be? I think you guys kind of know where I'm going with that. But in either situation, I don't think that pirating is a good idea. It's just not a good barometer to go with. Because then you'll have a situation like what we had before with Metroid Prime. Oh, everybody loves the game. We want more. Nobody bought them. You weren't buying them brand new. You were not buying them brand new. So you can't complain that the series stagnated. Same for F-Zero. Just like I said before, when Nintendo put the Metroid games and the F-Zero games on the fucking Virtual Console and the Wii U, I bought all of them that were available to me. All of them. All of them. The only game that I couldn't have purchased is the one exclusive to Japan because it wasn't on the US Virtual Console. That's literally it. So I stuck with my word. So if other people feel the same, just stick to your word. Don't pay into it. But don't complain as somebody pointing out some stupid shit that people may say, or that, like Kotaku may say. Not that it's hard to point out stupid shit Kotaku says. But don't come pick an argument with me over one thing and then lose your shit and get discombobulated into a bunch of other shit to try to justify your desire to pirate. I'm not with it. So that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out, everybody.